The equipment I used in the editing suite was Adobe Premiere Pro. I learned and then used multiple graphics to represent the boy's thoughts. To make the graphics, I slowed the film and the sound down by using different keyframes. This allowed me to freeze the frame and give the picture a black and white effect. We then added text around the characters, typically around the main character. I used a color corrector to make the picture seem as if it was in black and white. We designed the titles by using DaFont and the default titles on Adobe Premiere Pro. The titles in the graphics were made to be faded and unblurred into vision on the screen beside the boy to symbolise he is thinking of them. The soundtrack we used was Dragon and Toast, which we found on Incompetech. We used this music to give a slightly dark and eerie effect to what was on the screen, and we dipped the sound of this during the graphics shots. We did not create credits because all the titles are used during the graphics. However, we are using one title at the end, which is the end of the opening title sequence, where we will show the title of the film. This acts as a full stop to signify the end of this scene.
One of the online resources we used was a Google search of thriller genre conventions. This was useful because we found out what we needed to do for our opening title sequence and to find out what works in a thriller and what doesn't. One of the main things that we used was the college VLE. Our teacher provided us with links and PowerPoints to help with our work. This helped because it gave us information that helped us complete the work. We used the BBFC website to research into film age classification, how they go about classifying a film and thriller target audiences. This helped because it helped us decide what age rating our film should be. PowerPoint was used a lot during our planning stage because it's easy to put images and audio links to get our point across. We used PowerPoint for our big research because it was a more interactive program to use. In brainstorming sessions and our pitch, we used Flip Video Ultra. This helped us get our work onto the computer and up onto our blogs. We used Quack Block to put all our work into one place so we could see what we have done and to communicate out of lesson. This was helpful because we could see what we needed to finish and what other people had done and hadn't done. We also used Facebook and other social media to keep in touch with each other to see if people had finished the work or not. This was especially helpful during filming.
The camera that we used for filming was the Sony HC7 Silver, and this is the camera that we used in both the prelim exercise and the final piece. This meant that we were very familiar with the camera and we knew how to work it. In the prelim exercise, we were filming in and around the college grounds, which meant we knew the area, and this gave us an idea of how to use the camera and the other equipment, such as the tripod. In the final piece, we were in an area that wasn't well known, but because of all the work that we've already done with the camera, we were able to set the camera and the tripod up easily, which saved us time and made our shoot run smoothly. Manuel said that we had control over the camera and what it did, therefore we could make it right for the shot we were doing. The white balance was done every time we changed the location. This is so that the white in the shot wasn't too overpowering or too bright. Then the exposure is so that we could get enough detail into our shot and so that it wasn't too dark or too light. Lastly, the focus and so the shot was clear and easy to see. The sound which we used in the final piece was a soundtrack called Dragon and Toast, and we got this from the website called Incompetech. We had a number of soundtracks from there, but picked one, and we picked Dragon and Toast, which we thought was the best. In our final piece, we used graphics rather than titles, and for them we used the default font, so it was plain and simple, which meant the audience could read them easily. The last title in our piece is just the name of our film, and for the font of that, we went to a website called DaFont, and the font was called Times New Yorker, and we picked this because it fit in with the style of our film, which was the detective thriller film Sherlock Holmes.